We've been talking about registered retirement savings plans, so let's kind of continue that discussion with how registered retirement savings plans mature later in your life, and they become what is called registered retirement income funds. And the purpose of the retirement income fund is to take our RSPs that we've been saving up for many, many years, and once we get into our 70s, convert that over into a stream of payments to us as if it was a pension plan. Now, there's a couple interesting things about registered retirement income funds, in that first of all, they really have to be set up from RSPs in the year that you turn 71. It's mandatory in that year that you convert all your RRSPs to RRIFs. And you don't have a choice. You have to do something at that point in time, or all the money will come into your hands as taxable, and there's not too many people that see that as a good thing. So we have these RRSPs that we've been saving for many, many years in our 70s. We convert them. Now, the first issue, I think, is why 70? Or in our 70s. Why at 71? And the government's played with the age a few times. It's currently playing with the amount that we need to take out once we do become 72. But why 70? As a planner, it strikes me a bit odd, because I've put this money aside for my retirement, and I want to use it in my retirement, and yet we're not starting that until we're 72 years old. I don't have too many clients that have actually retired at 72 years old. Almost all my clients are retiring in their young to middle 60s. We often have many clients that try to retire in their late 50s or even their middle 50s. But that's a long time from 72 years old. So these were products that were designed to be used from a retirement. And we have so many people that aren't touching them until they get to be 72 years old when they convert to a RRIF. And it's like, yeah, we put all this money away from retirement, but I'm not going to use it until I'm forced to use it. Which, as a financial planner, I don't quite understand, but when I become 72, I have to take it out. Now, the purpose of forcing it out is so the government can bring that that stuff that's inside your RSP into the daylight to be taxed, and this is clear. The government clearly did not want to contemplate having a product where we allowed you to put money into an RRSP. We gave you a refund for putting your money in the RSP, and that if you turned out in retirement that you didn't need that money in your RSP, you could hang on to it for another 25, 30 years and never pay any taxes on that income. That was not acceptable to, I don't think, any government since it's been created. Now, so really the 72 is a political decision to take the pressure off of people having to take it out. So they're leaving you some room to have some optional withdrawals before you're forced to take it out in your young 70s. And so if you want to take it out at 62 years old, you're able to do so. You can make a withdrawal from your RSP and so on. But it's interesting, even the rules around how I have holding taxes on my withdrawals, the holding tax requirement is much better from a RRIF. So again, if I leave my RSP until it becomes a RRIF, I'm going to have an easier time of managing my annual tax bill. So there's still kind of this, well, RRIFs are really better to be used in retirement. So why aren't we seeing a lot more people convert their RSPs to RRIFs earlier on? You can create a RRIF at age 55 and roll your RSPs into a RRIF at that age. You no longer can make deposits to a RRIF. That's one of the restrictions on a RRIF, that once it's created, you can not put additional money in. But you can always have another RSP that you created, so that's not really a reason not to do it. But there's just something about the way these things have all been promoted over the years that people think, well, I want to RRIF as late as possible. I don't want to have it too early. Well, why? I put the money aside to use in my retirement, and I'm retired. And so I should be accessing that money in the easiest manner possible. And that's often converting my RSP to a RRIF long before age 72. The other thing that surprised me about the 72 is that, and again, since it's an age that's locked into people's minds, so they don't want to react earlier. But you need more money when you're 50. You know, you need more money when you're 62 years old. You need to be accessing that money to live your life earlier. Again, as a financial planner, what we see is that it's those extra things that you do that are generally created by what we'd call activities, whether it be travel or going out more or doing more in your life, tends to create more expenses. And we all know that we start to do a few less things as we get older and older and older and older. And so very often you need far more cash flow in your 60s than you do in your 70s than you do in your 80s. Yet the whole system seems to be loaded to try to get you to keep that money put aside for as late as possible. So again, I think I want to encourage everybody to please try to fit these plans inside their own environment and their own tax situation and their own spending requirements, and make the decisions based on that, not on what these programs are sold for. And really think about your own tax situation and stop being directed by the incentives that the government is giving you that may be good for the government and not for yourself.